What is going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to At Weeks End. I'm Mark, and we're here with a packed panel of familiar faces as always, and we have a lot to talk about, from new comics and news to some movie stuff. Cannot wait to get into it, and you shouldn't have to wait, so let's get started. It's Paul. What is going on, Sector 2815?
I am doing well. Thank you very much for asking.
Thank you very much for answering.
You are entirely welcome.
And coming from the frozen tundra, the Arctic Circle itself, the third ring of hell, we have TM Nerdy.
Hello, everybody.
What is going on, homie? For those that don't know, this guy is experiencing some extreme weather conditions. At least that's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's a little bad out there still.
He keeps sending us pictures of Serbia. That's not actually Canada, folks. That's actually a video clip live feed from Serbia, their Doppler radar tower.
Whoa.
It's a little snowy, huh?
A little bit. It's picked up. The wind is a little bit worse. It's like, I think, 80 kilometers an hour. That's
what does that mean?
I don't know.
What is that in real speed?
I legitimately have no clue. What is that, like 30 miles an hour? DVH is here. DVH, how fast is 80 kilometers an hour? Serious question. Let's go ahead and say hey to some of the folks in the chat real quick. We got Las Cruces, 1971. Good morning. Hooray. Woohoo. Hello from New Mexico. Y'all just let him get all the chats and just rubbing it in. Mm-hmm. Pops Attic is in the building. Let's go, Legionnaires. Hope you're doing good. Well, I know you're doing good, Pops. I just talked to you a little bit ago. What is going on, Scotty? Howdy. All four of my babies are sniffling, sneezing, etc. Now, I feel so bad for them. I'm sorry to hear that. So I'm assuming you're talking about your dogs or cats. I don't think you have four babies just laying around the house sniffling and sneezing, but I hope they get better. Ryan Riley, what is going on? None other than Mr. DJ Links dropping that 28-month member milestone chat. Boom, he says. Let's look at the stats. I don't know why that's clicking. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo. My pockets are fat. What is that? Homie, I'm epic. Don't be whap. It's a yarmulke. Homie, no cap. So what that is the Ben Shapiro lyrics from where he actually topped the charts. He is, and this is not a lie. That's why I said that clip. We were just joking about that. The reality is right now in this country, Ben Shapiro is the #1 rapper in the country. Top the charts by doing a feature on a Tom McDonald rap song and top the charts.
I thought DJ was gunning for like the Grammys or tonight. I thought he was looking for a rap Grammy.
No, he's biting none other than Ben Shapiro's flow. How crazy is that to say? And whether you like the guy or not, it's funny to go check it out. And like I shared an image that's hilarious of Ben Shapiro sitting at his desk, like dressed as a rapper.
Because that's the first thing I think of when I think of Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for a rap to come out of his mouth.
Yeah, and he'll do a video next week explaining why you guys all suck for liking that song.
Yeah, possibly. I can't wait to see if he does or doesn't. We got the channel exclusive emojis right there as well. So hit that join button to get access to that and more perks. What is going on officially? DVH is in the building. Space Case Cards, what's up? What's up? House of L, how are you doing tonight? Why is the sand white, TM Nerdy?
It's just it's just like why our dirt is red. It's just how things are in PEI.
It just is.
Yeah.
What was that line in Joe Dirt? How's the posse track on a 19 whatever work? It just does. Space Case Card says it's pouring here in California. That's not something you hear often. Well, I'm glad that y'all are getting some water. I hope it's not overboard. Evil's Comics, what is going on? Steven C., good to see you. William Wilson, hello, hello. Let's see. Google tells me 49 miles. Dang, that's some pretty fast wind then.
Yep.
Good grief. Entropy and Comics, greetings to you. Hope you're doing good. About Schfifty. William Wilson dropping that 9-month member milestone. Appreciate you, William. 9 months strong as a Legionnaire. If Tom converts, they could be 2 live. Okay. Yeah. Instead of the 2 live crew.
Two live views.
Oh, man. What is going on, Trev, the shipping guru? Yo, what a fun time to live in. Like, despite all the crap that happens, like, it's never not entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, that comment got me. He talks so fast, he should rap. Yeah. So happy not to work with the Grammys this year. I can imagine.
They just issued a flash flood for downtown Los Angeles. A flash flood warning.
Wow. Yeah, they're not their infrastructure isn't built for a little bit of rain. Kind of like here in Georgia where I'm at. We're not built for a little bit of snow, you know what I mean? Like the ice hits the road where I live. Like it's like the foothills of the Appalachian, you know what I mean? Like nothing's flat here. Like you go a mile, you've done this the whole way. And yeah, so that doesn't work for ice because you do this and you kind of just go sideways at that point. Paul, Travis, Los Crucius, DVH, Scotty, Lynx, Kevin. Trev says hello to all of y'all. Be sure that all of y'all say hello back. Don't be rude. Don't be rude. The comic chat. What is going on, Chris? Hope you're doing good this evening. Chris saw Argyle. I talked to him a little bit ago. He enjoyed it as well, and that's going to bring us to a fun talking point here in just a minute as well. What is going on, Kenny B? Good to see you. Good to see you. Anyone figure out who the new Moon Knight is? I don't think issue 2's dropped yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think issue 2's dropped yet. I've got the ratio variant of issue 1 for the Legion loot box for this month, featuring the first appearance of whoever's in the cowl, if it's somebody different. But we're still waiting to find out. We still got to wait. What is going on? Dragon Lover 3. Nice. There's at least 3 of them. I will not divulge what number Dragon Lover I am, though I am on the list. I hear that Mark is dropping an album next week. Nah, not this Mark. Manhattan Beach is soaked, he says. PEI is the Narnia of Canada. It's just a little different.
I would agree with that. We
have confirmation. What is going on, Cliff, on Comicx?
And you can only get there through a wardrobe.
Yeah.
Actually,
Siren 136 is here. Yo, we gotta shout this guy out real quick.
Also, you can get here through a long ass bridge that was shown on Matt Spotty's show last night.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible bridge. I seen that. So, Siren here is on Instagram. He's a fantastic artist. He's also a professional body piercer by trade. So, if you need any holes, go check with him. But go check out his IG. Not only, and he's on Whatnot. He does these phenomenal upgrade to pops. I picked this up off of him during Comics Curing Cancer, where he was kind enough to donate his time, his resources, and his artistic talent. But big fan of the Rob Zombie stuff, and I picked that up off of him. Keep it on display back here. But he just dropped his first comic book called Beeswax. I saw that he had some on the shelf at his LCS, but he was also filling orders to people. But dude, big shout out to him for seeing a dream and chasing it, dude. Much respect for that. I thought PEI was the arsehole of Canada.
I can't confirm that.
Can't confirm it. We don't confirm that here. There's avalanche warning in Colorado. I get it. It's 2012 all over again, people. The world's burning. I get it. And freezing and flooding. Everyone's, wherever you live, warning is what I'm getting at here. Let's see. What's good, brothers and sisters? Not the weather, apparently. Nowhere. Paul, what emergency are you facing in Florida?
We actually just had severe thunderstorms just pass through, so we should be good now for a few days. So,
and no BS for our area. We just got through like a cold snap warning, like it dropped down to like the teens and stuff, which is for this area. Again, this area is not built for those temperatures. Like if it hits the 20s, plumbers are all booked the next day, repairing pipes and flooding houses and stuff. So yeah, it's just that time of the year, man. Everything's weird. I'm here to end the week. You are in the right place, Beckerman. No, sir, you are too sweet. I didn't draw nothing for C3. It's sold out in less than 24 hours, dude.
Nice.
Huge congrats. That means you better be working on issue 2. All the stores also sold out. Dude, that is fantastic. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Brother John. Let me confirm. You should be a moderator by now, that we actually get a functioning link that people can tap on there. I forgot that I can't see stuff like that on the StreamYard, and it's definitely helpful if people are able to tap on links. Let's dance. Live. Yes, clickable link right there. So y'all click that link, give Siren a good follow, and keep up with what's going on over there. 50 degrees and sunny here in Nebraska. Yeah, it's kind of nice and up around here. Boom, 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 boom. I'll be installing signs that say "Caution: World unpredictable. Proceed accordingly." Yeah, there's I just think of Pompeii. You know what I mean? Like the great earthquake of what was it in like the late 80s over there in California, Paul?
Yeah, well, Pompeii was a volcano, right?
Well, that definitely wasn't the 1980s either.
No,
I'm just saying, like, the world's been unpredictable for as long as the world's been.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Gary B for his book release. That's coming. Hold the phone there, Pops. I started issue 2 already. Nice. I got my wrench. Yes, sir. That's perfect, Beckerman. Perfect. All right. So I caught up with the chat. No, I didn't. Oh, well. I don't see any new people jumping in. So that's it for the chat for now. We'll be back here shortly. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. We got some stuff to get into tonight. There's not a huge release week for comics, but there are some cool things that happen news-wise. And a good friend had a massive announcement that we're going to talk about here because it benefits everybody who's watching tonight. I guess we'll start with that. We got 24 people watching. Let's go ahead and put him on blast. Let me share my screen here. He deserves to be put on blast. None other than our very own Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy. You may know him as the godfather of the Grow Together movement, which we know him as that as well. But one thing you might not know about him is he is a published author. He writes horror style books, sci-fi style books, some of them of the adult nature and everything. They're typically shorter novel sized stories. And he just released his first book under his actual name and not his pen name. It went on sale yesterday. It is called Need. It's more of like a sci-fi horror style here. I was really pushing for the erotic thing, but he said that this one's really not leaning like that like the previous ones did.
Except for the cover.
Except for the cover. Yeah, this is a huge deal. Gary is one of the biggest community supporters that we have around here. One of the nicest guys ever in the community, showing nothing but love to everybody he ever runs into. This book is available on Kindle for only $2.99. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm pretty sure it means digital.
Yeah.
What, Kindle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically their book reader. It's like it's like the Cosmicology or whatever of
Boom. We're back
Amazon.
in there. DVH said it's pretty raunchy. We're back in there, guys. Erotic horror is back on the slate. Let's go. So a paperback copy, physical copy is only $6.99. Full disclosure here, I ordered 5 copies, one for myself, and then we're going to spread these things like butt cheeks and get them all around in the hands of people who might not be able to have it anyways or otherwise. And I can link you up there, people in the chat. If you want a direct link to this thing, I was going to drop it in the chat because I know that's just the absolute easiest way to find it. But in the meantime, I want to tell you, we do have a special giveaway tonight. Gary himself has a signed, he already has some copies in hand, and he has a signed copy that he's donated and for tonight for us to give away for free to people watching the show. So if you can't afford a copy, or if you're just not able to Amazon, which I don't Amazon, I don't have what's it called, Prime, but my wife does. So I was blessed yesterday to be able to send my wife the link to an erotic horror novel. And her immediate response is, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, that's our buddy Gary in the community. He wrote his own erotic horror." She goes,
and you were celebrating Valentine's Day, so it all fell together.
She said, her response was, "How many do you want?" I'm like, "She's a keeper." Here's the direct link to Gary's book. I'm going to drop this in the chat right here. Boom. Dagger said he doesn't Amazon either. Don't worry. There's a few of us here in the community that have taken it upon ourselves to purchase extra copies. Paul himself here,
Mm-hmm.
he purchased extra copies that we'll have on the episode of
Guess that key, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, the Wednesday after.
weekly
On Valentine's Day. You can win a copy on Valentine's Day.
So don't go watch Madam Web. Come watch Guess That Key.
Mm-hmm.
Click for Vampire Smut. Yeah, all of that. The B and Gary is for bonerific. Let's go. All right. What is going on? That guy, Dale of Suspense, is in the building. So, yeah, be sure to at least go give Gary a follow if someone can drop his IG link. He's here on YouTube, but go check him out on IG as well. That's where you can keep up with what's going on YouTube, because the algorithm here gets overloaded by the number of things that we follow and the things that we do, and they don't always keep us up to date in real time. So Instagram is a great way to keep up with a lot of stuff people are doing, even outside of YouTube, like this book.
And fun fact, if we buy enough, it might even be the Key Collector comic of next week.
Boom. Unfortunately, it's not a comic, but we can get it there, right? It's got a comic style cover.
It'll be the first trade paperback.
Yeah. Trade paperback novel. There we go. We got Gary's IG link dropped in the chat. I appreciate it. Anybody who's not already following him over there, if you've got Instagram, definitely give him a follow. What is going on, Flash Ray Video? We are peddling Gary B, the Casual Comics Guy, new erotic horror short story novel. The link directly to the book. It's on Amazon. It's only $6. It's posted to the top of the chat. I'll leave it posted there all night long. And again, we'll run a giveaway here shortly, and we'll give away a signed copy of the book, physical copy. Gary already has them in hand. He works nights, and I told him I'll just send him the name of the winner. If you don't follow him or you don't IG, I can middleman it over there to him or whatever need to be. But he'll get that out ASAP to somebody. So that was a great opportunity. And I'm excited for it. I didn't know about this side of Gary till a few months ago. I was aware of him getting this ready and everything, and I've been excited for it. I'm excited to be able to help promote it and pump it up. And I'm doing this purely on my own. I don't owe Gary a favor. He didn't pay me. He's just a genuinely good guy. He's a good person, and good people deserve good things. So let's do what we can. If you don't want to buy one, you can at least share it out if you got the time. Order multiple copies. Jeff Bezos needs the money.
And whoever's on 10-1-1 this week, the last one, the spec book, it should be Need. It should be Need. That should be the spec book.
Yeah. Yep, that would be great. All right, guys, you want to roll into some of the stuff that got announced this week, or some of the news or anything, some of the stuff going on that y'all heard about, that I heard about? Gary B was number one on my checklist of stuff, but y'all got anything that stood out to y'all? I do have a list of things that stood out to me, but anything jump out to you this week, Paul?
Anything that did, I think I put in our chat so we wouldn't forget about it. So,
well, I got all those written down.
Okay.
Well, then I'm going to start just scrolling down the list. We might have a new Sentry over the few weeks, since it was unfortunately announced and confirmed that what's his name? Glenn. That's his name.
Stephen Yeun.
I know him as Glenn from The Walking Dead. He was cast to play Sentry. He is out. That's not new news, but we do have a potential replacement for him, and none other than Lewis Pullman, which is Bill Pullman's son, who was one of the co-stars in Top Gun Maverick. So I thought that
gave
really
an incredible speech in Independence Day. He played the president in Independence Day, right?
Bill Pullman, yeah.
Yeah.
Unforgettable speech. Changed my childhood. But yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on Lewis Pullman potentially taking over the role? That's a crazy shift from the direction they were going with it. I wonder how much of this was the fan reaction. It seemed like the internet, despite liking the actor, didn't seem like the majority of people were really favoring him for the role of Sentry with Glenn. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it was. I mean, if he did it because his Stephen Yeun's reasoning, his public reasoning, is that he just has too many things backed up right now, and because of the COVID and everything, because of the strike, it pushed everything back and everything, and so he just doesn't have the availability anymore. But there's all those rumors about that he didn't really test very well with people. There is the rumor that Disney was just pissed about the way it was announced, and so they decided to go in a different direction, and I would have been fine with Steven Yeun. I think he would have done a good job. I think Lewis Pullman would do a good job as well. I can see either one of them. So
As somebody who firmly gives zero craps about the Thunderbolts movie or anything the MCU is doing right now, I feel like I'm a backseat viewer to all of it at this point. Like my fandom to it is so detached, but I still stay curious about it. I still check it out, but there's really no excitement. So I don't care. I like the idea of seeing Lewis Pullman in more stuff because I feel like he's like the next generation of up and comers. So it's always fun watching them develop roles and everything. But I think comic accurately wise, I mean, he is a generic white dude that kind of fits the bill for it. So it has that in its favor. I am somebody that I automatically default to like comic accurate, but I'm not beholden to that at all. There's been countless times that they steer away from that, and it just absolutely blows you away. They completely changed Peacemaker completely and for the better. Aldous Hodge stole the show as Hawkman, but I don't know. He did decent in Maverick, but that's all I've really seen him in. So I'm interested if they do go through with it to see what he brings to the table, because that's a complex character with Sentry. You know, you have like the Superman-esque guy with the power of 1,000 exploding suns, and then you have the schizophrenic Bob who's poisoned by the void and everything. It'll be interesting to see how far they can take that role. What are your thoughts, TM?
I'm interested because I haven't seen this actor act yet, because I have not seen I haven't seen what's that movie? Top Gun Maverick yet.
Right.
So
What?
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I knew that I was gonna have a reaction.
TM, just by watching it, you're an honorary American citizen. It's
Right.
that good.
Yeah, well, according to Beckerman, I'm already a Kansas Cityan, so
When you watch that movie, it comes with a visa.
So I'm interested. He definitely does have the look, and it's funny because that was announced that he would be said to be replacing Glenn as Sentry, and then 6 days ago, Io Edeberry dropped out from the Thunderbolts.
Is that
and got
who?
she was going to play the assistant to Valerie, that's Dreyfus's character. She was going to play that character, and now it got replaced by another I forget the name, just a sec.
Yes.
Geraldine. And I'm not sure who that is, but I'm pretty sure. I know there's rumbling saying that now that Thunderbolts has an all-white cast. There's no, because Ao is a black actress, so she dropped out of the role due to her most likely scheduling conflicts with The Bear season 3, right. And she won a Golden Globe. She's like, I'm too big for this now.
Smart move. Smart. And I'm not like, man, it's hard for me not to come off like I'm just trashing Disney or the MCU, but I honestly feel like if you're a coming up actor or actress and your career has like upward momentum going, taking on an MCU project right now is probably not like the best strategy. You know what I mean? Like you tend to get typecast for a while, or you tend to just like, you're not going to have a good fan reaction for you. You know what I mean? Like people aren't feeling these like they used to. So I don't know. I would be very picky and choosy if I was them about what roles or what you take on during an MCU project right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's got to be a lot of conversations that are had with agents and actors about that kind of stuff right now, because that whole franchise is just kind of, I mean, it doesn't help that it was pushed to like the absolute peak of cinema. You know what I mean? For fandom and excitement, because there's really nowhere else to go but downhill from there.
And you said it earlier, nobody's really that excited for the Thunderbolts. It's not a movie that everybody's going to rush out to go see. The one character that there's actually only one person I'm excited to see again in the MCU at all out of that movie would be Elena Belova, because I love
What'd you call
her.
me? Talking about White Widow?
Yeah, I absolutely loved her, but see, I would put her with the new Hawkeye because their dynamic and their chemistry together is perfect. Them bouncing off of each other. So I wouldn't put her in the Thunderbolts. I just scrap that and do like a whole Hawkeye series with Yelena Belova
Isn't
and
the
Kate
Thunderbolts
Bishop.
like the Masters of Evil and everything? I feel like all they're doing with the MCU Thunderbolts movie is making a Marvel Suicide Squad.
Hmm.
The
With the Winter Soldier as kind of the
The Rick Flag.
lead. Exactly. Yep.
We got a 14-month member milestone right here from probably one of the most winningest people who are in the league. And we got Papa Willie. He said, TM sucks. Back to the Future does not need a reboot. For those that don't know, it was Papa Willie here who took home the CGC 8.0 Incredible Hulk first appearance of Wolverine. So big shout out to him. That's like hot on the heels of winning like a Legion loot box a couple months ago that was valued at a few $100s. This guy's got some good luck.
And I think he basically said "suck it" to all the losers.
Yeah, I think so. He also gave him the finger at some point, all kinds of good stuff.
That's exactly what you do. It's like, I won.
Yeah,
deal with it.
Yeah. So Thunderbolts, there's a lot that we're gonna have to find out. I mean, it seems like it's not in a great place production wise. They got a lot on their plate, and that's not normally good this far along in the process. So we'll see what comes of it. But man, I don't know if it was. I think we got the news last week. I don't remember, but Millie Alcott got confirmed as the actress who will be Supergirl, and I couldn't be more excited about that. This is one of the main leads from House of Dragons on the counter program to this show over on HBO, and she talking about like casting someone that just fits the description. This photo, this like Photoshop picture of her like put onto the Supergirl costume is what around. I can't get over it. That's our new Supergirl. If that's not perfect visual casting, I don't know what is. So I can't say how excited I am for this, but I'm very excited for it. I can't wait. That's another character I haven't seen, or another actress I haven't seen in a lot of projects or doing a lot of stuff outside of House of Dragons. I don't know if she's even been in anything else, but I'm excited to see what she brings to the table. And I hope they get to filming that ASAP so that you have her at her current age of like 22 or something like that. And we don't like let her get like 30 years old on us before we get to a Supergirl film that's at like the back end of this whole gods and monsters phase for the DCU.
Yeah, there's a rumor that they're fast tracking the Supergirl movie to film right after. They're going to introduce her in the Legacy movie, Superman Legacy, and then they'll run right into Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Well, nice. that was like the whole thing too of like why she's cast, why James Gunn casted her before the movie was even announced or even a director or writer attached to it is because she's going to show up in Superman Legacy, and also that there's 2 productions going to happen this year as well, like going into production that besides Creature Commando and Superman Legacy and Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, people think that's one of them and The Brave and the Bold is the other.
Woo! That Brave and the Bold one, that's a tricky one right there. I'm excited about the Matt Reeves Batman stuff, but man, I've said it before. I'm so nervous about them running like dual universes at once.
Yeah, and James Gunn also kind of hinted at the fact that there may be more things that have come in, projects or submissions for projects that have been announced and unannounced that he's pretty excited about.
Yeah, and going back to the day one of all this, just over a year ago when he made that at this point famous announcement of that him and Peter are taking over, we have laid out a projected 10-year fluid slate here, and everything that they named on that slate, he was very specific. This is not all that we have planned. This is just all we're willing to announce today. And man, I'm excited for it. I'm getting a little bit more excited. Like, I've been the Superman Legacy being bloated has got me worried. Like, I'll be honest with you, I would be super happy with just Superman. That being said, I'm there's still that side of me that's excited to see all these characters and know that the universe is going to be vast, but in my mind, that's just not how I would do it. And like, I'm so worried for this to succeed because I would hate just like, because they're just going to keep trying and trying till they get something. They're never going to just let it lie and make standalone movies. Like, it's going to be forever before they attempt to do that again. But I want it to work so bad.
Like I said before, though, it could be specifically the whole Clark Kent and then Superman side of Superman Legacy, and that we'll get him as a character. And then who knows, like all of these other characters like Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, they could show up in just a 5-minute, maybe a 10-minute scene out of like a maybe 2.5-hour movie. And that's just kind of the setup, the world that James Gunn is trying to build. And they're not just there for like a useless cameo. They're there to set up furthering things like Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, or maybe Metamorpho and them showing up in The Brave and the Bold.
Now, I am excited for Metamorpho. Like, never did I expect to see Metamorpho in that perfect casting again like that. Like, all you gotta do is paint his head white. You're done. Paint his head white and you're good.
It should start filming next month, I believe, right? March, I think, was the start production.
Yeah, I can't wait. We got another member milestone chat here. 7 months clocking in with Joseph Michaels, aka the Adventurous Joe. Woohoo! 5 months more. It'll be a whole year. Dude, I appreciate you so much. Clicking right along. And I opened that package you sent. It's filmed. It's actually uploaded. It's just not released yet. I'm going to release it to channel members in a few days, and it'll end up going live not tomorrow, but a week after that. But he said that there was stuff for the kids in there, so I rushed to open it. So got that done. I appreciate you so much. That was very, very kind of you. If they're doing that, they might as well have kept the Snyderverse. Yes and no. Yeah, I mean, I like the Snyderverse, but I can recognize the issue with attempting to keep it. I mean, it just wasn't in a healthy film universe place. And that's what you either have a healthy film universe or you don't. You're either the Monsterverse or you're not. You're either the MCU 4 years ago or you're not. You can make all the movies you want in the world, but if people aren't responding to them, you're just losing and losing and losing. But they did talk about how they were putting rumbling and talks about it a bit, like someone wanting to do a Superman Red Son Elseworld film with Henry Cavill. I believe it was Matthew Vaughn that stated that he wanted to do that, which is very topical, as he had a brand new movie come out this weekend as well, Argyle, that starred Henry Cavill. What do y'all think about the idea of these Elseworld movies? Like, when is the appropriate place to start doing those? Like with Superman Legacy not even releasing till next summer, when should they even start focusing on Elseworld projects?
Well, I mean, I think you want to establish a universe first before you start doing, because if you do them at the same time, I think people may get too confused as to exactly what you want them to know as canon, what you don't. Which canon can have, I mean, there's two sides of the canon. There's a good side and a bad side. But I think if you suddenly have a different Superman appearing in 3 different movies, people are going to say, okay, well, which one is the Superman I'm supposed to care about? And it's going to keep coming on, time after time after time. So I think you want to establish that first. That's my personal opinion.
Where do you weigh in on that, TM?
I agree with Paul on that one too. It's just like you have to establish, like we already have the Batman come out. It's already been said that it's a different one than what we're going to get from the Brave and the Bold. That's already happening. We're getting the Penguin that's attached to that movie as well. But it was just stated probably a week ago that J.J. Abrams is still doing his Elseworlds Val Zod movie. And then you have this other one, somebody else coming along and saying, oh, I'm going to do this Red Son Superman film. That's 3 different Superman films that are coming out, and we haven't even gotten the first one yet. Like, we need the first one to come out. Superman Legacy needs to establish this world, because it's the first one in this world too that we're going to get. Creature Commando is technically the first one, but the first cinematic one will be Superman Legacy. So we need to definitely establish that one first, and then maybe a year later they can come out with the other one, stating like, oh, this is a new one. Let everybody know, let the audiences know. But I don't think we need 3 Superman films going all at once.
No.
I think two is enough. Two is enough, unless you like make it. I could understand like if one of them was like, okay, we're gonna make a Red Sun television show. That's a little different. It's a little different. I'd understand that, but 3 films, nah, it's too much.
Yeah, and as Brother John said here, there should be very few Elseworld projects. And they shouldn't kick off for a while outside of the ones that are already set up, Batman, Joker, etc. And we've got Joker coming out later this year, right?
Yeah, it really is the only DC movie that's coming out this year. So
Yeah, and I'm sure at this point that that'll probably be the final installment of that. I can't picture them proceeding because they're trying to be done with what came before so that they can focus on what they have, but they're kind of I guess contractually bound with the Batman franchise or something, or maybe it was already rolling. But to that point with the Matt Reeves stuff, I'm a huge fan of that. I loved that first one. And the Penguin show, we had set photos being shared this week as well that looks awesome. I believe this takes place directly following the film, how Oz or Penguin kind of stepped in where Falcone fell, and you're going to see him taking over the iceberg and taking over as like the head of like organized crime in Gotham, the kind of shift of power.
yeah, I thought I read it. So it appeared it set sometime at the very end of the movie. I thought I thought I had read that, but to your point, it may just be right after the movie too. But it's either like right at the very end, in between things, or just after the movie ends. So it's very.
And
close
I was
to
wondering about that too,
yeah.
because some of the photos, it looks like they're at the end of the film where the bombs went off and the city
Right.
flooded. It looked like a mess. But we got a member milestone chat here from Pops Addict, 28 months. He says justice for Henry Cavill. There we go. Circumstance says, will Penguin's kids becoming a thing or not? That's going to be a nah. Not in this universe. Like, there's no way I know for certain. I'm just rolling on pure intuition here and going with nah, because they're barely hanging on in comics. They're course correcting that comic move that was made to kill the Penguin and have his kids step in. If you're reading Tom King's Penguin 12-issue series right now, it's there to correct that misstep that didn't really go over. It's him coming back. He wasn't dead. It was him taking it out, and he was forced to go back to Gotham and take back over what he had, because this whole Gotham project does not work properly without the Penguin in charge of crime in Gotham for anybody, whether it be for the other criminals in Gotham or for the greater authorities like the FBI. And they're like, no, we need Penguin there. We need the villain we know versus these idiots that can't do this. So I would bet on never seeing the Penguin's kids, I don't know, I'd say like a year from now ever again.
Right.
I can see the Penguin killing them, to be honest. Like this Penguin that we're getting like this hardcore Penguin, I can definitely picture that. But touching on this, justice for Henry Cavill, Argyle the movie, brand new film by Matthew Vaughn, that is the director of X-Men First Class, as well as the Kick-Ass films, and the Kingsman franchise, has a brand new movie out this weekend starring, if you look at the internet, say 1 year ago, everybody's favorite actor on the planet, Henry Cavill. Remember, everyone loves Henry Cavill, so much so that they were willing to crucify James Gunn, give up on an entire film industry, a corner of it at least with the DC stuff, because he's not Superman, and we all love Henry Cavill so much. He has a brand new movie out. So if you're one of those fans and you didn't know he had a movie out, remember to go support him, because everyone loves Henry Cavill, right? Just wanted to rub that because I'm petty.
Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
I'm gonna say everyone loves Henry Cavill so much that not a lot of people went to go see the movie this weekend.
Yeah, I was just about to say that it does need your help, because it only made worldwide. It made 35.3 million.
18 million domestic.
Yeah, and it cost 200 million to produce. So definitely go watch it. It's worth it. I enjoyed it. America enjoyed it. A lot of people enjoyed it. Don't listen to the bad reviews.
There are some bad reviews out there, but they're not coming from normal people that went to go see it, from what I can understand. From the people that I've talked to, because I was big excited about it. Not only am I a big Matthew Vaughn fan, you follow the page, you see where I even did like a YouTube short on unboxing like this Steelbook set for Kingsman. And I'm not even a big Steelbook collector, but I wanted the 4K versions of the film in proper 4K, not just on digital, and got the awesome Steelbook thing for it. And one of my most liked or reaction comments on a thing was 23 weeks ago. Screen Rant posted this thing with Taron Egerton, who plays Eggsy in the Kingsman franchise, and it was an article about Matthew Vaughn open to returning for Kingsman Blue Blood or something like that. And I put a comment on there. I'm down for as many more Kingsmen as you can make. It's a fantastic franchise. And that comment kept coming back to me because it kept getting likes. It had over 1,000 likes, which is weird for me and my experience on social media. And I know it's 23 weeks ago because today, just about an hour ago, I got a notification where someone else liked it, which I thought was very appropriate because of Matthew Vaughn timing. And I am petty, so that's why I brought up that Henry Cavill thing, because myself, Chris the Comic Vet, have said this since we were on YouTube, that people just didn't support Henry Cavill. They did not respond to him as Superman until he wasn't Superman anymore. And it wasn't until then did everyone come out of the woodwork as fans of him. Well, this is proof right here that they're not. That's why we don't continue with the Snyderverse. This is why. When if you're legitimately a fan of an actor, you like watching them perform. This was a phenomenal Henry Cavill performance, a unique Henry Cavill performance, and a fun one with massive fun Easter eggs and all kinds of stuff. And we're going to completely go into spoilers on Argyle next week. Paul will have seen it by then. And this is one of those movies where if you spoil it, you cannot watch it the same as if you didn't know. Like, there's two ways to watch this movie: the first time and every other time, because you're not going to be watching it through the same lenses after you've seen it. Massive twists along the way, complex, fun story, simplistic on the core, on its like the most base level. Spies, bad guy spies are after a girl for information, and a good guy spy is trying to save her. And it's a spy thing, so there's twists and lies along the way. But there is the biggest twist at the end that just the entire theater, all few people that were in there watching it at the IMAX screening when me and the wife went, all of us, including my wife, all screamed yes, or I knew it. And just
also, if this movie does well, Hollywood would be like, you know what, we do need more lead movies with Sam Rockwell, because we do.
Stole the show. Yeah, he's fantastic. And when he first shows up on screen, and this is in the trailer, you see him with the long hair and the beard when he approaches Bryce Dallas Howard on a train. My wife's like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "That's Sam Rockwell." She's like, "No." Dude, it's barely recognizable, but he absolutely steals the show. It was great.
And
It was really
I'm
cool.
excited to see it too, because that's a type of character that I've never really seen him play that type of character before.
My
Obviously,
wife's comment was like, "Is he a good guy for once?"
yeah.
Have you ever watched Mr. Right?
Mm-mm.
No, that was a good movie with Sam Rockwell led with what's her name? The girl from Pitch Perfect, Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick, that's my wife's favorite actress.
Yeah, you guys should watch it. Mr. Right. It's Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick movie.
Okay.
Yeah, to this point, the first early review I saw for Argyle was posted by Screen Rant, and people can get mad if they want, but they said they put up their review, which was like it wasn't like that. It was fun but not memorable and convoluted. I'm like, yo, I'm not believing a review that this site posts ever again after y'all praise the Marvels. Like, get out of here. Like, get all the way out of here with your shill reviews. Like, I appreciate honest reviews, but sometimes they're just clearly shill reviews, and that was it. Okay, can't sleep, insomnia. So stopping by to say hi.
It's
Hi.
the man himself.
The man himself. And hang out half hour before getting ready for work. Well, we're glad you're here. As you can see, Gary, we already told some folks about your book. We got it posted up there. We pushed the hell out of your erotic horror. And yes, we did confirm we're back into erotic horror territory because Dr. Von Hoot has read a good portion of it already, and he says it's pretty juicy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're leaning into it, as the characters in your book do. Love me some Anna Kendrick and love that movie. Yeah, my wife loves the Pitch Perfect films. Moon is a good Sam Rockwell movie. He's such a great actor. What basketball player was in that movie? Can't remember now. Which movie?
I He's talking about Mr. Right, and I have no idea.
I always knew Gary was a freak. Ofo show, of course. That's his best quality, if you ask me. All right, so we got Argyle again next week. We're doing a full spoiler special on Argyle, like we do when movies come out. We'll definitely set aside a plenty of chunk of time as to not extend the show, but to definitely dive into spoilers, plot, favorite stuff, all of this and that, and the official ratings will drop in at that point. But just know that the movie gets a big approval from me, and I highly suggest it on the big screen. We did the IMAX. There's plenty of visuals and sweeping shots. If you know Matthew Vaughn, you know that he has a very unique, wild, artistic style to his action movies and everything. Like if you enjoy the Kingsman films, this is for you. This is for the Matthew Vaughn audience. If you're a Mark Miller style person, you know, like that's Matthew Vaughn works closely with Mark Miller, the comic writer, to bring Kick-Ass and Kingsman and all that. This is that style, that tone, that vibe. It's an absolute fun ride, but I can't wait to dive into some of it because there's so much fun stuff to talk about with it. And if you've seen it and you're one of the content creators out there and interested in joining the panel for that talk, hit me up. We tend to have some extra guests on for the spoiler special, so I'm down for that as well. It wasn't a basketball player; it was a rapper, actually.
I like how Mark put it.
Just reading it.
Speaking of Sam Rockwell, whenever he was promoting the movie of Argyle, Rockwell stated that he'd be happy to return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Justin Hammer needs to come back and put on the Iron Man suit and save the MCU.
Well, he kind of did return in the What If season 2, and it was great seeing him back.
Yeah, RZA is in the Wu-Tang Clan with me. I most know RZA from the G.I. Joe Retaliation film. I love me some G.I. Joe movies. The cartoon.
See, I don't know this. I probably know if I see him, but I have no idea who this person is.
What is up, brother? We got Johnny Boy Comicx is in the building. Yo, bro, I'm still sharing that photo. Still sharing it. I don't know where you found it, but that's my favorite one I've seen yet. It's good stuff right there. Yep, RZA directed and starred in Man with Iron Fist. That's pretty dope. Pretty dope. Let's see what's on. Paul, I need your help with this next one I got right here.
Star Trek Section 31?
New Star Trek. Yes, sir.
Yes. Star Trek Section 31 went into production for Paramount Plus. For those of you who don't know, it is a movie a Star Trek movie for Paramount Plus. The first time they're doing a movie for the streamer. It stars Michelle Yeoh as the Emperor from the Mirrorverse. The Mirrorverse is a concept, if you don't know, that is basically, it's probably the concept that has been most used and has been used in every single iteration of Star Trek. And basically every single series, every single movie, whatever done, they've has done some sort of iteration of the Mirrorverse, which is basically an alternate instead of Starfleet. They have the Empire. Michelle Yeoh plays an Emperor from the Mirrorverse. And Section 31, don't talk about it. Basically, Section 31 is basically like the shadow or the CIA, basically, of Starfleet. They're undercover shadow things that do whatever needs to be done. It's kind of like, you know what, if you ever caught, we don't, we deny we ever knew you type thing.
It's Mission Impossible Star Trek. You will be disavowed.
Exactly. And they announced not only that the production had started, but they announced, I think it was 7 or 8 different actors who have joined it, with the exception of one who was conspicuously absent from there, who played another person from Section 31 in Star Trek Discovery. So he may or may not be in there, and they just haven't announced him yet, and maybe they want it to be a surprise. But we're definitely looking forward to the newest movie, and Michelle Yeoh, who has been killing it this year. She won an Oscar. She's basically she's been doing it all over.
She's been an action movie star for decades at this point.
Yeah, I guess she has won an Oscar because that hasn't come out yet, but the Oscars won't come out till March. But
she won for Everything Everywhere all at once, right?
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Now I've got some questions with this. So, like, this is the first theatrical film that they're doing for Star Trek since we had Star Trek Beyond, which is part of the J.J. Abrams built universe, right?
Correct, but this is specifically to stream, not for theaters.
But this isn't going to be on the silver screen. So for those that don't know, TM Nerdy is experiencing severe weather conditions, so he is potentially got connection issues. He let us know about before the show, but we'll keep bringing him in as soon as he pops back up. So where is this one going to be tied to existing television shows that they have on Paramount Plus, or is this going to be the next chapter in the cinematic universe? It's its own kind of timeline.
It's going to be tied to the TV series, because what happened was on an episode of Star Trek Discovery, basically Discovery was originally set right around the time just before the original series. That was Star Trek Discovery.
So that's the one with Pike.
Correct. Well, no, Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds is the one with Pike. Although Pike did appear in season 2 of Star Trek Discovery, and then he got spun off into his own series. Okay?
Got you.
Okay. And then what happened is, right after that, Discovery got thrown thousands of years into the future with Michelle Yeoh on board. So now Michelle Yeoh is basically in the wrong universe, in the wrong timeline, and she was basically like glitching type things because she couldn't, because she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And
that's currently happening to TM Nerdy.
Correct. And so she went through what's called the Guardian of Forever. For those of you who know Star Trek, know the Guardian Forever is this huge portal that can send people anytime, any place. So the guy who was there guarding the Guardian of Forever sent her through basically back to the time and the place that she felt she should be, at least to the time. And so she's now gone back thousands of years, supposedly. We don't know where she went. This movie will tell us, and how she interacts with Section 31 and everything. So
this is kind of like a story finale to what they've been doing on Discovery then.
Correct. And Discovery is basically going into its 5th season, which is its final season as well. So it'll happen as well. So
this will be after the 5th season then? This will be
after the 5th season of Star Trek Discovery.
Do we know what kind of budget they're pulling for this?
I don't. It was originally supposed to be a series, but I think because Michelle Yeoh has basically exploded in popularity, she really can't commit to a series.
She won an Oscar, and she can't.
Exactly.
She can't
I'll do a movie, but I really can't do a series type of a thing.
Let's see what Aggressive says, who's probably one of the biggest, one of the biggest Star Trek fans that we know. Starfleet Charter, Article 14, Section 31, which allowed for extraordinary measures to be taken in times of extreme threat. These guys don't follow traditional Starfleet ethics.
Mm-hmm.
So they use red shirts as shields, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Great concept. It was only explored a couple times on some of the series, but it's been in. There's been a couple of books about Section 31 if you read any of the Star Trek books, but it's a great concept.
Nice. I'll probably definitely check out the movie. I'm not in the know with Star Trek stuff. I've seen a handful of the original films, seen plenty of random episodes along the way through my years. Watched the 3 theatrical films, the more recent ones. I loved all 3 of those, but beyond that, it's just what y'all say. He probably does, Scotty. He probably does. I wouldn't put it past him. But next one up I have on the checklist is kind of exciting. Jessica Jones is rumored to have a possible return to the MCU with all the Daredevil Born Again stuff currently happening, the production for all of that. We do know that they fired everybody and started over with new showrunners that took straight to the Comicx to do some research. And after reading a stack of books that they posted, if they read them all, it was a massive amount of Daredevil they read. After reading that, they immediately brought back in Karen Page and Foggy Nelson, who originally were planned to be killed off and not brought in. And now there's talks and everything of Jessica Jones having a possible return. We don't know what capacity or how much so, but this actually really, really excites me. I know that they've made canon now everything that was on the Netflix
just
stuff.
Gonna say, it was like, we were just kidding when we said it wasn't going to be canon.
Yeah, they decided to go back, make it canon, and now talks of Jessica Jones returning. Like, you've got You got Charlie Cox Daredevil, the same actress for Jessica Jones, same Karen, same Foggy. You're going to keep bringing these people back who have portrayed these characters for years of their life, who already have an established mind's eye of who these characters are, how they act, how they present these characters. You are bringing back the Netflix show, no matter how bad you want to make it something else. There's going to be a great atmosphere for making this show if they keep this up, and we might have something fantastic on our hands. I'm really hoping that's what we have going on here. Like everything that's been announced since they completely terminated what they started with their first attempt at Born Again, everything that has been announced since has all been good news in my eyes. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens with the Daredevil Born Again stuff. I really like the Foggy character, and Karen was underrated. Yeah, they both.
I heard Karen's not going to have that big of a role in the Daredevil, but she's still going to be there. So that's better than having them killed off. And
Yeah,
I'm excited. I love Christian Ritter as Jessica Jones. I love Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Like, I'm going to say it, I love those two shows more than I love Daredevil. I like Daredevil, but I loved watching Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. So I'm hoping that they also get Mike Coulter on the line and be like, hey, what's that?
You loved watching Jessica Jones and Luke Cage do what? You didn't finish your sentence.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They did do some stuff. They did do some stuff.
It was the Iron Fist character that got all the hate, right?
Sweet Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that wasn't even that. That was just a bad show all around. It didn't fit with everything else they did. It just was off.
Also, there's rumors about that as well, that instead of having what was his name, Finn, come back and play that role, we'll have the character of Colleen become the Iron Fist.
Just kind of get away from that kind of black eye.
Yeah, because at the end of Iron Fist, she did become the Iron Fist.
Oh, okay. I didn't finish Iron Fist. It was the only one that I didn't see all the way through. I'm like, yeah, I'll come back to it later. That was like 5 years.
It was hard. It was hard.
He was locked in his house for 2 years with COVID, and he still didn't watch it.
Still didn't watch it. Well, to be fair, I live in Georgia, so I wasn't locked in my house.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So there is a potential rumor of her coming in as the Iron Fist, but nothing yet about Mike Coulter. It has been said about Mike Coulter. I know he's on another show called Evil, which everybody should go watch. Evil is a fantastic show, but I think that's coming to an end too. So with that coming to an end, it frees him up for a potential return. Will it be Daredevil Born Again? Probably not, but I'm hoping he'll show up in something down the line, because Mike Coulter was the best Power Man.
Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah, the Luke Cage show was great. It ran for 2 seasons, right? Then went into Defenders.
It ran 1 and then went into Defenders.
Just 1? Okay.
I think the season 2s came afterwards.
Gotcha.
After Defenders, I think. I could be wrong. I think we got like 2 seasons of Daredevil, then the Defenders. I think every show had 1 season prior to the Defenders. But I could be
aggressively relaxing is saying this. There must be something funny in the midst of this. Gotta be Finn Jones.
He's probably in jail or something.
I was about to say he has to be in jail for some crime or something. I don't see anything. Oh, he's been canceled. No, something reacts to cancellation of a show. Okay, that got showed. I don't see anything. Don't know. TM is right.
There you go.
I want to see the Daughters of the Dragon show with Colleen Wing and Misty Knight. Cage would be a great addition to the next Avengers movie. Yes. You know, an Avenger in the Avengers movie. What a novel idea. That would be awesome.
Also, we do need more Misty Knight.
Why? I'm not against it. I legitimately don't know why we need more Misty Knight.
Because she's an awesome detective with a robotic arm.
I'm sold.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sold. In other news, semi-related, on the Disney front, I keep track of. I just find it absolutely fascinating how these like corporate billionaires operate and move in this company, because it's all news. Everything they do is news, but to find it, you can't find it on Screen Rant. You don't hear about it on the comic book websites. You hear about it in Forbes and other thing like that. But as we talked about previously on this show, an aggressive investor by the name of Nelson Peltz. He's what's called an advocate investor or something like that. He thinks that Disney is an American like an American staple that is in a terrible state, and he has tons of money in there where his voice actually matters. He in January made it public that he wants board seats for himself and a couple other representatives of the conglomerate that he is a part of. He was denied by the board, which was really Bob Iger's doing. So there's like a power struggle between Bob Iger and Nelson Peltz for control of Disney. Not total control, but for them to have a significant voting voice at Disney. Well, he was denied those seats, so he is now completely going over his head and taking all of his money, as well as, God, what is that guy's name who Bob Iger fired? Perlmutter. Something
Yeah.
Perlmutter
Ike,
was
Ike,
the
Ike, Ike Perlmutter, who was a guy
Ike,
from the Marvel guy.
yeah. So how everyone says in Feige we trust, and Feige we trust, you say that because Ike isn't a public figure. Everything that happened that made you trust Kevin Feige happened under the dualship of Kevin Feige and Ike Perlmutter, much like James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Mhm.
Nothing was done without like the, I don't know, agreed upon approval of both of them moving forward. As soon as Bob Iger fired Ike, everything that went to shit was because of Kevin Feige's unlimited creative direction. There was no one else saying, maybe not that, or, there's no more pushing on ideas. It was just pure. That was the fight. That's Feige, like unrestricted Feige. But Ike actually still owns all of his shares. So Ike with his shares and Peltz with his shares are taking aggressive action, combining all their funds and going straight to the shareholders. And it looks like they're asking for more than they were initially asking, because they're being, y'all aren't playing ball. We'll be more aggressive about it. So the battle for I guess like diversity at Disney still is happening, because they feel like there's not enough voices at the table, and it's just running the company into the ground. And not just on the Marvel front, just like as a whole, the company is where it was in years, steadily increasing and building. In less than 2 years, they managed to financially regress the value of this company a decade. And that's not a good thing for companies, I guess. And so that's where it stands right now. That was the news from that last week to this week. We'll see where it goes from here. The
Mhm.
saga continues.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, companies and shareholders tend to not like to have the value of their shares where they were 10 years ago.
No, unless they were doing better 10 years ago.
Right?
But it's
Yeah.
crazy. When I say like 10 years ago, I mean, like, we're talking like a massive drop, because you got to think in 10 years, you saw the MCU do this, all these Disney properties, all the parks were booming. Like, it was a massive rise in profits. If you go back and just like look at their trend line thing, just like on a graph, it goes like this, and then it just physically just drops, vertical drops, and it's down there. And it's crazy. Like, it's alarming if you work there, I'm sure. And this, that there weren't drastic immediate steps, just blows my mind. The fact that there's still an Agatha TV show being invested in blows my mind. Like, you have these projects that anybody, like, that's the stuff that we are more familiar with. That's why I kind of go to that. But like, I can look at an Agatha show coming and tell you from 1,000 miles away, you just say that you're making an Agatha show, I'll tell you you're going to lose a lot of money. I can tell you that with certainty, and it's just crazy that they don't have anyone there that has that kind of knowledge of these products to be able to say that won't work. Why? It just won't. Do you need a why? Just, it won't. Why would you risk that kind of money?
Right. If you can't even get, again, I know you do these things not for nothing, but if you can't even, if you're not willing to invest in even an Agatha comic book on a monthly basis, why would anybody want to watch a TV show?
That's super fair. I only got one more thing on the list here, and we are not getting into it, but I will say that there's more CGC news. If you are a CGC collector, investor, somebody who wants to keep up with the CGC news, you've probably already heard about it. If you haven't heard about it, check Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics. DM him directly for any information on the most recent CGC scandals. He's the go-to guy for all CGC scandal news updates and so forth. Just know that Dog the Bounty Hunter has been hired by CGC proper and is investigating it, and charges are coming up and lawsuits have been filed. Big shout out to Dog, Leland, Beth, the whole crew over there. They're getting it done. CGC's in a better place than they were before they hired Dog the Bounty Hunter. Again, that's Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics. His DMs stay open. All right, y'all want to talk some comic books?
Sure.
It wasn't the biggest. I wish I was an associate economic class that cared about CGC scandals. Yeah, we made that point too. Like the books in question, like out of this panel, I think I've only seen, I might own a handful of books at best that are graded, that qualify for the scandal. Like I've got ASM 300, Hulk 181, but most of the books are just they're like shave your shekels for the next couple of years kind of books. That's where I get all my CGC updates. There you go. Rob's Fat Sack of Comics. Rob loves talking about it. I'm telling y'all guys, that's his go-to. Well, there is something to increase the value of a character like Agatha. In order to do that, they need to spend money. Yes, Agatha isn't a draw, but she never will be if she's never pushed. False. She never will be, period. Sorry. I mean, it's fun to say nice things and hope and wish, but no, she's not. That's like saying, maybe if we just focused on Mix Pitilix, he'll be a household name. People will buy little hats, start wearing little hats, like it just ain't going to happen. Something you can do that with some characters, you can't with other characters. That's why there's characters called A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list characters, and some that are just Z-list characters. There's so many. They wanted a female character out there, and there's so many good ones, and so many like more established ones, and some that actually wear superhero suits, villains, heroes alike, that they had to pass to get all the way down there to Agatha, the babysitter. Makes zero sense. Dog's wife Beth passed away a while back. Well, shout out to her for doing double time. She's on the case at CGC. Rob truly is the Steve Jobs of CGC scandal game. He is. Still waiting on my Sledgehammer comic to get back from them. You don't think? Oh no, some of them stole it. They might have, my man. They might have. Rob Jobs. I like it. There we go. I guess I better cancel my little. As a West Coast Avengers fan, I'm down for Agatha. I'm super glad. Hope to God you support her in the current time and not just in 1980 when that 3-issue story took place. Shout out to 3 issues of comics. I get it. I'm not anti-Agatha. I'm make it make sense though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not against them making, but like where you're at and what you're doing has to make sense. Where they're at and doing that makes less than 0 cents. Less than 0 cents. The story with Wanda kids is my perfect wheelhouse for my 90s collecting. Dude, I worked in my LCS during the House of M. That whole, like, what happens with that whole thing, like that is such a story. Like, why are we doing Agatha? Why aren't you building toward House of M? Like you've started it. It's already started. Like you're getting there. Yeah, I'm not saying anything. She'll be like Supergirl, but she's not going to be the next anything. Hey kids, what do you want to be for Halloween? Agatha. That's not a thing. Hey, what MCU shirt do you want to buy? Who do you want on your lunchbox? What figure do you want? Agatha. Never will be a thing. They can't even push Riri. They can't even push Shuri. Like Shuri should have been a home run. Like she's legitimately Black Panther at times. Like she's an established character. But Agatha, if Shuri ain't going to work, if they can't get that off the ground, Agatha don't have a chance in hell. Then they're planning on how great a reaction Kathleen Hahn got in WandaVision, thinking people will want more. I don't think it'll work. I don't think it'll work either. And to that point, these are idiots if that's how they're thinking, because you know who else got a huge reaction? Madison, but it's not spelt how you think. She should get her own show then. You know? Yeah, I agree. The writing is what matters, but I mean, some of the best written movies and shows still get slept on. Paul was just telling me about one.
Obliterated. Go watch Obliterated if you like it. You talked about you were talking about Argyle and the fact that it's got twists and turns too. There are twists and beep moments in Obliterated too throughout, and it's tougher to do when you have all these different episodes, but it definitely works. It is definitely worth your time. You'll
On a
start one
scale of 1
episode
to
and you
10,
won't.
where would you put it in
Oh,
enjoyment factor alone?
easily a 9, 9.5.
And what happened to it after season 1?
It got canceled by Netflix.
So the best shows, the best things out there still are facing cancellation. We live in a weird era for things like movies and shows to succeed. It seems like it's riskier than ever. Streaming's in a weird spot. They're really they're in the data collecting phase. You know, streaming was super new. It's still super new, and it's only been really happening to this capacity for a couple of years. So they're really in the data collecting phase, and all data points to this is not a profitable avenue. Netflix, the most successful one out there that is global, is barely getting by a lot of the times. So it's just I don't know, it's rough. Like I couldn't tell them how to do it better. And then I know it's easy to sit on the sideline and point out and like say that's a bad idea, this and that, but you know, that's where I sit. I'm on the sideline.
Netflix is the new home of Monday Night Raw as well.
Yeah, dude,
January.
power move. Yeah, that's super true. Like everyone's in their own little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mindhunter was incredible, and that got canceled too. I hadn't checked that one out either. That's why IPs are such a big deal, because they're only way to unite audiences from different strips. Yeah, I think that's why we don't get too many original things as well. I was talking to my buddy Film Age Studio about how many sequels and how many things are picked up. It's because it comes with a degree of a built-in audience. You know what I mean? And yo, man, I'm gonna have to say that for next week. I keep wanting to go back to Argyle stuff. It is there's so much to unpack and talk about in terms of like even like box office numbers and audiences and reactions. There's so much to unpack with it. It really is very applicable to this conversation. But man, it would literally ruin that movie. Everybody watching, go see Argyle this week. You will not regret it. It was just fun, badass action movie, and yeah. Don't waste your time on junk. Just watch Reacher. He should be the next Batman. Mindhunter was extremely dope. That's on Netflix as well?
Right, so yeah.
Here we go,
Lower
Paul.
Decks.
Lower Decks is super popular, but it's about to be year 5, which means more money for creative. So here comes the axe. Yeah. All right, so let's shift into comics. This wasn't a massive week. Got a few books here. I'm looking at what I got. I thoroughly enjoyed every one of these. I've got 6 books here, and we'll start with whatever Paul says. What is that? Alan Scott, Green Lantern?
Alan Scott, Green Lantern.
Yo, what'd you think?
Oh, loved it. We finally find out exactly the origin of Red Lantern. We're gonna get the Rage of the Red Lanterns in Alan Scott next issue. So, it is just we basically see exactly how Alan Scott's basically love interest, his boyfriend, how he came to be, how he was a Russian plant, how they basically have been doing this. They've been planning this since well before they actually met each other and discovered the red flame and brought it to the surface and created everything. Tim Sheridan is just knocking it out of the park with this.
So I every issue I read, like I'm standing on thin ice, just waiting for like it to jump the shark. You know what I mean? Like for the story to fall apart or this or that. I'm just so nervous because it's a book that's getting a lot of unwarranted attacks by people who clearly are not reading it. But the story structure of this, I was praising it from issue 1. this was on full display here. Like, for one, the origin, the reveal of the origin of the Red Lantern was better than I could have expected. It's not just like his old boyfriend that got poisoned by the Crimson Flame. He has an entire history of a terrible upbringing, getting into the Russian army at an early age, seeing his strengths and kind of being Taylor trained to be this this spy on American soil, and seeing an easy in with somebody he can take advantage of very simply with their emotions, which was Alan Scott. The Russians were after the Red Flame the whole time. He managed to get a hold of it when it went crazy, when they were trying to experiment and discover it. And like the way that they portrayed him taking advantage of Alan's compassion and goodness was heartbreaking, knowing how Alan feels about him. And then, because this whole flashback is happening when the Red Lantern like lampooned Green Lantern at the end of the last issue. So Green Lantern's down, his ring's weak. Are you there, TM? Make sure I got the right one up.
Yep.
Got him. So I kick that one. Boom, there we go. So it's Green Lantern's weak. Red Lantern's just like trash talking him, telling him about like, this was my plan all along, this is where I'm from, blah blah blah. And he's talking about how the red flame is just he's gonna have to kill him. And in the moment, Alan starts talking about like some of their memories together, and he's kind of just stuck in a containment, and he's just leaning on it, and he's talking to the Red Lantern, and he plays the Red Lantern like a fiddle. Like he does exactly to him what he said, like that I took advantage of you. I took your compassion. And Alan immediately just goes into just, oh man, don't you remember the da, and gets him for 1 second to put his hand up on the containment. And as soon as he does, Alan puts his hands up, then he puts his ring into his face. I'm like, yo, what a moment. And then he takes this baller move. Like he knows he's outpowered. So he immediately puts his ring into the actual Red Lantern while he's being screamed at, don't do it. It'll kill us both, kind of thing. And it ends on this page where he's juiced up with both flames, the Red Flame and the Green Flame. Sheridan is real, like, dude, like, I am in awe about how well he is putting together and executing this story. Look at that. I saw that. You know, the first thing I thought was, Paul,
What?
I hope somebody sent this page to McFarlane.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
We need a gold label. We got the platinum version. We need the gold label.
And there are also some hints that come actually from Red Lantern that maybe Alan Scott doesn't understand exactly how powerful his ring is, too.
Yeah, some of the conversation about, you think you're just made to go through walls? He's like, you think you're just phasing, and he addresses. He's like, no, I'm actually moving through the fourth dimension, like moving through time itself. And he's like, so there's more to this. I'm like, tell me. Yeah. It was so good. So good.
This is 6 issues as well, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the one I'm gonna read. Like, I'm gonna read it. I think I'm gonna like binge read it, like all 6 issues when they come out.
This was my pick for best title of 2023. It may be my best pick of 2024 too.
Yeah, there's few comics that like I know I'm excited to read it when I'm pulling it off the shelf. Can't wait to get home and read this. And then I finish it and I'm like 10 times more excited. Like, yo, they went there. My only knock against this series has to be is Sheridan kind of made the Spectre off brand. Spectre was off because he was kind of like making him like the spirit of like he ain't going to talk to you about all this love and compassion, this and that. He's literally God's hand of vengeance. Like he ain't here to tell you how good of a person you are and patty cake you. And he didn't like lean heavy into that, but in the moment when he did, like in the little 2-panel, like what the hell is the Spectre doing right now? Like at least turn off the Spectre and talk to him as Jim Corrigan here. That's the only thing that got me. But it made sense in the story, and like they are friends, they are teammates and this and that. And it is 1940 Spectre as well,
right?
So it's not like this isn't post Ostrander. This is very pre Ostrander Spectre. Like post Ostrander, like, yo man, quit crying. I want to turn this road into a giant mouth and scare the shit out of you. Is there a snowstorm in Florida?
Not that I'm aware of. Paul is so blurry.
It happens.
Yeah.
It always looks different on the StreamYard end than
Yeah,
on
it
the
looks
end.
fine on the StreamYard. So
Here, pull this out. Flip this back page. Oh yeah, and in the back of all the the DC books this week, we get the preview pages for Joker Year One, which is the next story arc in the Chip Zdarsky stuff. So some of the artwork in it looks fantastic. So yeah, this is here when he's in the containment and he's kind of talking him down, looking away, just chatting, sighing, and then he gets him leaning up against him and reminiscing, talking, memories. Where's it at? And he puts
boom.
his hand up and boom. Yeah, then he goes straight for the lantern. Yeah, that was such a great scene. Absolutely dug it. Good stuff. Here we go. Let's see what we got. Sheridan allowed more of Corrigan to shine through than Spectre and revealed that God allowed Spectre to be more than just vengeance when needed. I mean, Sheridan wrote that. I get that. I mean, like I said, it fit into the story. It just didn't fit into the character. But I mean, I rationalized my way through it. Like, that's how I did. I'm like, this is 1940 Spectre. But I mean, he was cosmic wild back then. But yeah, that's the whole reason the Spectre has to have human host. Yeah. Gots to. Otherwise you're Eclipso.
Yeah.
TM, tell us about something you read this week that you enjoyed.
The finale to Beast World. I did enjoy that.
Tell us. How did it stack up? This was the finale to the entire Titans event.
I enjoyed it. There's some things I would have probably changed a bit about the story, but like that's like the ending of the story. Like we'll get into that, but I overly enjoyed this story, how they were trying to defeat them, how they came up against certain aspects of like the government and that, just turning away from the government and trying to prove to everybody that they are heroes, that the Titans are the ones that will rise above and they don't have to kill everybody. And to a point where Nightwing almost reveals himself to the president. He's just like, hey, I'll like tell you who I am.
The president's like, no. Yeah,
So,
I thought the series had no business being as good as it was. We've said that before, and it definitely shines through in this finale for me as well.
little fight between Raven and Raven was pretty cool. Then you had Starfire come in and just rip that helmet off. That was a pretty cool scene. Or page, I guess. The thing I would have changed though, as much as like I love Beast Boy. He's like one of my favorite Titans. Loved him ever since.
He's like Animal Man Light.
Yeah. I wouldn't I would have had still that like little moment where with Detective Chimp and Cyborg saying like, "Hey, I have something." I would have just left it there, and like left Beast Boy dead for a while to leave the like feel like there's more an impact at the end of this book. But there is hope. That there is hope. Like we get that little scene, and that's just a little taste of what we could get. And I do like the reveal at the end. I kind of figured it's a common trope though to be like, oh, ever since I don't remember if you guys know the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode with the Maori twins where like you think it was a whole one where like you had the evil one and the good one and like she was mimicking her and stuff, and then by the end you think she got rid of the bad one, but it turns out that it was the bad one that got rid of the good one, and that's where the episode ends. And it's like it doesn't end in a good way. It makes you feel empty inside, but like that's a common trope that we get the ending where Raven, the evil, darker Raven, is the one who won, and the good Raven is inside of the little gemstone.
And nobody knows. Everyone thinks that Rachel's still right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I called it before this issue. I think the Titans are going to take an L in this. And by the end of it, I think that they did. The only thing that they successfully did is rid the people of the spores.
And bring Beast Boy back.
They did. Well, how much of him back? We know that they brought enough of him back to constitute him and wake him up. And we're going to have to just read Titans to see if there's going to be any lingering like holes in his memory, pieces of his personality. We don't know. We didn't get to see anything other than him opening his eyes and pretty much saying, hey, that's all we got from that. Amanda Waller completely has taken over the Hall of Justice, dubbed it the Hall of Order. The Titans been too busy to stop her from going on her public rants and completely turning the tides of the perception of the Titans to the general public. She forced their hand to take out and supersede military action. We had, everything that she wanted to happen happened, because she definitely didn't want to live in a world contaminated by beasts, infected individuals. And that was the big thing for me, is that it looks like the only thing the Titans succeeded in doing was ridding the world of the spores. They lost a teammate that they're not even aware of yet, though they got one back. Amanda Waller's doing her thing. It ended with Waller's, how did it say it? Waller's tirade to order continues. It's just beginning.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like on the surface, like as an event, and Paul pointed this out, the event was handled properly with the because they jumped right into the invasion from the Necro Star, and it ended with that invasion stopped. That's all they stopped. The Necro Star came, Beast Boy responded. The fallout from that response was the infection of the spores. They rid the world of the spores. What are the consequences of that? Raven's gone. Beast Boy just got killed. We don't know how much is left. The general public is split on how much they approve or disapprove of them. Amanda Waller has taken over the Hall of Justice as a base of operations. And like all kinds of stuff happened. They invaded the Red during this whole thing. Like, why did Dr. Hate go to invade the Red and try to destroy the world and all this? Like, are we going to go back to that? Because we had that one panel with Animal Man, remember? Like, letting us know in the main title that he felt that during the Waller Rising story. So there's a lot that I feel like they're really doing good here to really link this to the bigger DCU, even so much to show as the
it'd be awesome if like they do a book featuring Animal Man and what happened to the Red, what damage, what repercussions of the Red, because like he is definitely the king of the Red without the parliaments and that. Yeah, it's just I'm interested in that. We definitely need something like that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it'll go. And as far as the shot for shot of the story and everything, if you want more Beast World, me and Paul have already recorded the DC Comics deep dive on the whole thing. There is a lot to unpack with this issue in terms of greater DCU, where it's going from here, what we know about where it's going, and how much this has really like reached out into the DCU. This was a solid mini event that is really just fueling this summer's actual first return to a summer blockbuster event since Death Metal. Death Metal was our last blockbuster event where they ran something once a month for and all that. I wonder if they'll do that again.
Well, Dark Crisis probably, right? Dark Crisis on Infinite.
Yeah, that was once a month. Yeah. We've had the Gotham War, we've had Beast World, we had Lazarus Planet, we had Night Terror. So they've just been doing these little compressed title focused events. Like this was a Titans event, and stuff like that. They've been kind of different with the way that they've been structuring them and releasing them. And I've enjoyed them in this way. Like 2 months is a great turnaround time for an event. It's not any smaller. You still get the same like 6-issue event kind of thing. They just get it out at a pace that it doesn't lose its momentum. But yeah, I'll tell you one that I enjoyed this week, TM. Do you know what it is?
Twilight Sparkles.
Yeah, Avengers Twilight, yeah.
Avengers Twilight issue number 2. Guys, there's a Marvel book that's not only worth picking up, you should be excited to pick it up. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Chip Zdarsky's writing an Elseworld Marvel title that's called Avengers Twilight. It's set in the future. Chip Zdarsky's doing a fantastic job building out this world where it's completely like fascist, oppressive kind of world, ruled by a relative of Jarvis and Tony Stark's kid pretty much. And you have a resistance, like in any good story with an oppressive empire. You have a resistance gathering up their forces, and the first person that Luke Cage and his resistance know they needed was Captain America. And in issue 1, we saw them return him to somewhat of his strength. He is older, but they gave him the super serum that he was stripped of before this series took place, and he's back as Captain America. They're taking their first assault on this issue, and they're aiming for public perception. It's kind of a popular theme in comics. So they go out on a mission to get Captain America in front of cameras to speak to the population, because he's always been able to inspire, to motivate, to move people to do what's right. And it took a crazy turn in this. They were kind of the bad guys were kind of tipped off that they were coming, so they activated their Thunderbolts, which is pretty much just like a military branch, like a highly effective, tough as nails military operatives that are sent out to intercept them at this public gathering in Times Square. Cap does get the mic. He does talk to the population for a minute, but they all think he's old, cuckoo, and doesn't know what he's talking about. And it was a heartbreaking issue in a sense to see Captain America down on the way that people are lost and they don't care. Do they really even need us? And yeah, this cool moment where Luke Cage slaps him. He's like, yo, it doesn't matter what people say, do or need. We still have to do the next right thing. And kind of push him to get motivated. And then we see Jarvis at the end. We get this reveal that he's talking to somebody in a room, and it's none other than Ultron. It's what's left of Ultron after this event called H-Day that happened before this series started, what really took out our generation's heroes and put in this next generation of terrible people. This Ultron head is talking to this Jarvis relative, but it turns out he's not Jarvis. He's none other than the Red Skull himself in disguise. So we have our villains are confirmed. The Red Skull and Ultron are ruling this world. The Red Skull has an ultimate goal, and when he succeeds, he will step aside and give what's left of the world to Ultron to reign for as long as he wants. And Red Skull, crazy bastard and crazy AI. So let's go. What'd you guys think?
I liked it, and I also think, I mean, there was a great scene between Steve Rogers and Kamala Khan as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'll be the first person to tell you I'm not a huge Marvel fan, but I'm really enjoying this story. So.
Yeah, I haven't read a lot of Kamala Khan stuff. She's popped up in a few things I've read, but yeah, in this, she's not superheroing. She's a single mother taking care of her kids, and Steve knows that he can't do it on his own anymore after how things have gone. So he's going to try to recruit more people, and Kamala's one of the ex-heroes that he goes to, and she refuses him. I'm sure that he was able to motivate and say the right things to her. I imagine she'll be joining later.
Right. Yeah. And he also kind of indicated that she may be just one of the few people who's actually left that could join. So.
Yeah, he made the really cool statement to her. He's like, don't think I don't know that what you're doing. I've seen the reports of this mysterious person with big hands saving us from the X, Y, or Z. So she's out there, she's out there operating and like getting her rocks off, helping people and stuff. Reading Kid Cudi's first comic, Moon Man, before bed. Ooh.
Solid issue behind an Alex Ross cover. Can't go wrong.
I really did enjoy this series and that. I'm a Paul too. I'm not a big Marvel reader in that, but I overly enjoyed this. And it didn't even feel like a regular Marvel title in that. It definitely, Marvel needs to do more stuff like this. Do more Elseworld kind of stories, make it a little bit darker, a little bit grittier, and get some people that aren't enjoying Marvel and where Marvel's direction is going with some of their stories into more Marvel comics. And this is the good way to do it. And I absolutely love this story, and that it's something different with characters we know and love, and that we're seeing a little bit of them older, but we're also seeing them in a whole new type of world. Like, it's not like you have Tony Stark and Janet Van Dyne had a kid, and this is what their kid would be like.
Terrible person. I guess her trauma passed on to him. Yeah, he's horrible. He's the worst. Knowing that he has his dad's like severed head or what's left of his dad's head in like a preserved where he's talking to it and bouncing ideas off of it and stuff. And he doesn't want to even put on a suit. The kid's like a spoiled kid, and Red Skull is talking him into, he's like, no, you have to put on a suit and come out here and operate. People need to see you in the suit, because if Captain America sees a suit with nobody in it, he's going to break it. But if you're in it, he might not break it because you're his friend's kid. Like, yo, you want Captain America to kill this kid. You're trying to break Captain America is what you're trying to do.
Also, we're getting closer and closer to see what H Day is.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that all played out. But yeah, speaking of Marvel titles that are a little darker, grittier, and good, Incredible Hulk issue number 8 dropped this week. This is our final issue with our guest appearance by the World War II Ghost Rider, Sal. Coolest Ghost Rider I've seen since Danny Ketch. This guy's awesome. I know we're getting an all-new Ghost Rider in a couple of months, and that's the Red Hood. Yeah, the Hood is supposed to be the next rider. Cool, I guess. I'm not excited about it. I'm going to check it out. Ben Percy will be writing it. But this is the Ghost Rider they should have done a story on. He literally just hangs out around these relatives of his, and if bad things come their way, he defends them. And this evil was descending upon that village, and the rider was activated over and over, fighting him off. And the Hulk, as he's passing through, came through the village, skirmished with Ghost Rider, teamed up with Ghost Rider. And then in the final issue, this evil has got on the Hulk and attempts to infect the Hulk and attack the Rider. But the Hulk's psyche is just as powerful as his body is. And this awesome battle with World War II Ghost Rider here and Hulk against this giant monstrosity of this evil creature was amazing, with Hulk running, passing the chains back and forth, just dual attacking this thing. It was so fun. Nick Klein's artwork is great. Man, y'all got to dive into this Incredible Hulk series at some point, or go check out the trades after the fact. It is top tier. This is great. All the high praise.
Nice.
It was good.
It was.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked how like we were on one panel, and that it's just when like the final scene with Hulk and Ghost Rider, they had that whole conversation and that, and then the next panel you just see the bike and it's disintegrating. I don't know why. I really like that.
Yeah, he just powers off, and the bike just sits stagnant with roots growing on it and all the decay. But when bad things come by, he fires up and gets to work. I tell you what, some of these action panels in this were just absolutely fantastic, with the creature attacking and Hulk telling him to pass the chains. And like, I love how it just crosses out the panel, like it, like literally out the panel into his hand. And then, dude, it was so good. And Sal's super cool. Like he had his, I guess it would be like his great grandson riding shotgun in the sidecar for a little while. And his grandson went to grab his shotgun to shoot something. And he snatched it. No, this life is not for you. And he just like releases it and sends the grandson to safety, and just gets to work. It was really cool, man. It's just, I like Ghost Rider. I like the Hulk, and they put them both together, and it's a really cool Ghost Rider. Like, I'm just smiling ear to ear the whole time I'm reading it. All right, Scotty, good night, man. Heading off to bed. I hope you have a good one. Hey, before you leave, if you're still there, we got the giveaway coming up in just a minute. Put hashtag We Need Gary. That way, even if you have to dip out, you're still have a chance to win his erotic horror if you're interested. What's another good one that came out this week?
I didn't have time. I didn't have time to read it, but I was going to read Trinity. Did anybody read that?
I didn't, because we all already read it except for the 8 new pages.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Wasn't gonna pay, what was it, like $10 or something, or $8 for 8 pages.
I'm just going to wait on it to hit Ultra, because I learned my lesson with some of these. With the way that DC is formatting stuff, they're putting fantastic backup stories in some of their main titles. Trinity has been getting a backup story inside of the pages of Tom King's Wonder Woman. You're getting about 6 to 8 pages of a story of the Super Sons interacting with the daughter of Diana, none other than Trinity. And we've had 4 installments to that, I believe. And this Trinity one-shot special is a collection of those 4 with 8 new pages. So you get the 4 original backup stories plus 1 to put into it just to cap off this whimsical slapstick kind of kid story.
Is she really the daughter of Diana?
That's what we know so far, but I don't think she is. I think she's the daughter of said murderer.
That's
I'm glad.
we found that out in the last issue.
Oh yeah, that was like 2-3 issues ago now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't put a time aside to read that book then.
Yeah, if you've been reading Wonder Woman, first off, the backup stories are great. They're definitely enjoyable. They're really funny, especially the banter with John and Damian.
Yeah.
But
Tom King had said he almost enjoys reading those more than he enjoys reading the Wonder Woman story.
which is crazy to think about when you
Yeah.
see how absolutely flawless the Wonder Woman book is. Like that, I've said it before about some of the stuff he does, but it is a master class in writing execution in this medium. It is just, this is some of his best work with the story structure, and him and Daniel Sampier are like, they're a new dream team. Like you got Johns and Frank, that's a dream team right there, but these guys right here, the way that he just must get what Tom King says, like I want this and this, he just must get it, because it just reads cinematically. It reads like you're watching a big screen movie, not necessarily like the pacing and all that, but just how visually captivating it is when you combine it with the storytelling. It's just flawless. Love it. One that I read this week, and it is in Key Collector as a key because it is an annual. World's Finest annual 2024 dropped this week. Superman and Batman aren't in it, but that's okay because we have some returning characters that have been included in the series up until now, including Metamorpho, fantastic story, Challengers of the Unknown, super confusing story, and none other than Bumblebee.
Oh, Bumblebee. I like Bumblebee.
Bumblebee is in it. It was individual stories. I got to tell you, it was super wicked. One was actually really important to what is happening, and that was the one where Mxyzptlk and Batmite are trying to get all the ninth dimensional imps together because something terrible is coming. And you get you pretty much have the Justice League represented in Batmite form, like Green Lantern and Green Arrow were actually one, which I thought was fantastic. That was a great little homage there. And they were all just sitting there. It was almost becoming annoying, but then it kind of kicks into gear. They get invaded by the Apocalypse version of these characters, and they're like, do ninth dimensional creatures, can we die? And they're like, we're going to find out. And they all get slaughtered, but we don't know if they're going to come back to life. I'm assuming they do, but it was actually really, really fun, and it took a dark twist, really dark twist at the end of it.
No.
So I'm going to go off topic here just for a second, because I was just thinking, has Bumblebee ever had a solo story like in the comics? Because like I'm thinking of like Titans characters that have, and I'm just like, all of them have had their own solo stories except for Bumblebee, and Bumblebee's an interesting character.
You see her around Black Lightning stuff. I think that's about it.
Yeah, way back in the in like the 70s and 80s, she was part of Teen Titans West. But
Yeah, Gary says Wonder Woman is amazing. I completely agree. We're so spoiled with covers that World's Finest is dope. That is Dan Moore crushes it. You know who else crushed it on World's Finest this week? John Jang had a fantastic B cover. Picked up numerous copies of that. I gave one away for the new DC Day stream. If you don't know, every Tuesday at approximately 2 o'clock, I do a live stream previewing every week's new DC releases and hang out for a while and run a giveaway. It's a great place to be to come hang out during your lunch break and stuff. But yeah, I love the Metamorpho story. He was sitting there with his girlfriend and her dad, who hates him to death, running a little mission to go get an artifact, and runs into his own father, who they don't see eye to eye. It was a great story focusing on how his father looks at him and how his potential future father-in-law looks at him. He's like, no one loves this guy but his girlfriend, who absolutely adores him. It was kind of a really, really good story. The Challengers of the Unknown one, I'm going to be honest with you, made zero freaking sense. Didn't understand it one bit. Read it twice. Didn't make any sense. Did you read it?
it will arrive this weekend, actually.
Well, when you read it, fill me in on what the hell happened.
Okay.
Read it twice. The art in it was good, but they went abstract. It was like reading a comic inside of a kaleidoscope. Haven't done that before. I need more practice at it, I think. Another one I enjoyed. Enjoyed Duke. Duke was action-packed, fun, fast-paced, super good. Y'all read Duke?
No, I still got to read issue 1.
He's on the run. He's trying to gain some allies, bad guys onto him, or good guys, because he's pretty much defected from the Joes because they don't believe him about running into Starscream inside the Transformer issue 3, and he's out there trying to solve that mystery. I'm excited for him to solve that mystery. Can't wait to see how it ties in more. Power Rangers Unlimited. What was this? The Morphin Masters. Ranger Slayer on a mission to get to the Morphin Masters. Draken killed himself to give her his white power coin because it has the power of the white light. If they can get it into the grid, they can potentially stop Dark Spectre from infecting the Morphin grid. And she goes to see none other than the Morphin Masters with the aid of the pink emissary, who we see for the first time. She battles numerous infected emissaries along the way. She goes into a place that we have never been to inside of Power Ranger lore before. It was really cool. Yeah, we do get to see the Morphin Masters. They're terrible people. They're actually good people, but it's kind of like, I guess, the Power Rangers version of the Guardians. You know, they're immortal. They've been around. So, like, what we perceive as important, time, this, that, and they just don't see things like that. And it was frustrating. And pretty much the Rangers are going to have to do it themselves. But Ranger Slayer is clear-headed, and we're finally getting her back into a story ever since New Dawn, which she is a fan favorite character, and I'm very excited to see her pull Gravedigger out and get to work. Cannot wait. It's going to be good stuff. Y'all got any other ones that y'all hit this week? That was my entire stack, I believe.
We've gotten through everything that I had.
What's the biggest week? What about you, TM? What else you got?
That's about it. I was gonna read that Trinity one, but that's about it for me. I'm gonna be reading Duke and issue 1 and 2, and that probably tonight. It's supposed to be like this storm in here tomorrow. It's supposed to not let up until tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow afternoon. So probably read those, and then yeah, I'm just excited for what comes out this upcoming week.
Nice.
This is Ultimate Black Panther is the big one this week, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I do believe so. I'm checking the DC Ultra app now. Stuff like that, Trinity book, typically stuff like that a lot of times will go straight to the app if you have the Ultra tier. No, it's not on there yet. Not on there yet. Wonder Woman is on there though. 5 issues of Wonder Woman is already on there, the current series. So you can read everything except for the final 8 pages as of right now. Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, all 5 issues is on there. 3 issues of Justice League, King Kong Godzilla is on there. They get stuff fast on there, like really fast if you have the Ultra tier.
I guess there might be 2 spec. I guarantee you people are going to be specking on that Black Panther book, but there is another book that a lot of people have already been specking on and has like a ton of pre-sales, and that's Thundercats.
Thundercats. Yeah, I talked about on my Saturday drop. It has over 150,000 orders in. It jumped up a big boost as well when Rob Liefeld announced this cover. I plan on picking up a Rob Liefeld cover and checking out and reading it. I'm not the biggest Thundercats fan. I don't plan on picking up and continuing the series, but I would like a Rob Liefeld cover just for the PC. I love me some Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, I'm not picking up any Thundercat. I never watched Thundercats growing up either, so I figured why bother? Will I read it? Maybe, but I'm gonna check out the book I'm more excited for this week is Birds of Prey issue number 6.
Nice. And the Ultimate Black Panther definitely has got a lot of people going to be going for it just to kind of carry the Ultimate Spider-Man momentum. And I already saw there's more Ultimate titles coming. Those aren't the only 2. I think they have an Ultimate X-Men coming.
Pete Momoko is actually writing and drawing it.
Oh, well, I'm definitely not even picking that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Art, but it's not for me.
Yeah, I don't like her art either.
I mean, everyone's entitled to like whatever art they want, but that's just not my jam. And I've never read a single book that she's written before. God knows I don't care about X-Men comics right now. But one thing I do care about And that's Gary the Casual Comic Guy's book Need. It's a erotic horror short novel that he put out. It's for sale on Amazon right now. And if you know Gary B, he's one of the biggest supporters in this YouTube community that we got going on. He's a fantastic person. And this is his first novel that he's published under his name and not under his pen name. So we're sharing the love. We're trying to get the word out there because a lot of people know Gary, but not as many people know that Gary is a published author. So we want to do what we can to spread the word. And on top of that, we have a signed copy. A signed copy of the book is going to a new home tonight. So put in hashtag We Need Gary because the name of the book is in fact Need.
Also, I will be reading another Marvel book, and it's going to be a Star Wars book.
I don't believe you. Mace Windu.
Yes, I'm excited for that book. Not only because I like Mace Windu, but I'm a fan of the writer that's attached to it, Mark Bernardin. So I'm definitely going to be reading that book because I like his work.
Bubs at Thundercats has a few good or a few not bad runs in the past. Thundercats are definitely popular. I'm just wondering how much that this is really going to deliver. You know, like I feel like it's just riding on the coattails of the Energon universe. It's kind of like they're making it a trend by doing Thundercats right now. You had Image pick up G.I. Joe and Transformers and put some of the top creatives that they could get their hands on with Daniel Warren Johnson, Joshua Williamson, and build out this whole universe and bring back Larry Hama for G.I. Joe. So they did everything possible to not just bring fans the book, but bring it into a level of quality that they haven't seen since they can remember. And now you have Dynamite, known for making books without clothes included in them. That's their thing.
Well, Skybound actually did all that, right? Not Image, right?
Skybound under Image. So it was specifically Robert Kirkman's imprint.
Okay,
Skybound. Yeah. And then you have Dynamite Comics getting who's writing Thundercats?
Not sure.
Nobody use your Google. Nobody use your Google. Pop up in the chat within 5 seconds. Otherwise, I think you use Google. Who's writing Thundercats? 5.
Well,
4,
I'm on League
3,
of Comic Geeks.
2, 1. That's my point, TM. If you ask anybody in the world 3 months before Transformers was released, who's writing Transformers, they would have told you Daniel Warren Johnson is writing and drawing it. If you would have asked anybody in the world who is doing the new G.I. Joe relaunch, like they got Larry Hama back. So correct. Indie writer, not sensational. Something Declan or Declan something. And I'm not saying he's a bad writer. I'm saying he's not he might cut his teeth on this. This might be what he gets known for, but my point is they don't have a name helping sell the book. You know, like you have Daniel Warren Johnson fans that might not be Transformer fans that know I'm going to pick up Transformers because I know no matter how much I like or dislike Transformers, he's about to write something that's going to be fantastic.
All right, I got a question because when Transformers #1 came out, there wasn't that many covers, were there?
Hell yes. Every single shop on the planet that had, like every single online shop did an exclusive for it. Every single one of them. There's got to be.
But these aren't. Well, I guess, but like I'm looking at like the Thundercats. There's like a ton of retailer exclusives. There's a ton of retailer exclusives. There's a ton of incentive exclusives. There's a ton of just regular covers going all the way to freaking E.
Is that Thundercats?
Yeah.
Well, because Dynamite it does. It does it with every issue. It doesn't have to be a first issue because they do the incentive, then they do the incentive without the trade, then they do the incentive in black and white, then they do the incentive. You know, every incentive has like 5 different versions of just that incentive.
Yeah, their distribution format is different than like Marvel or DC or Image. You know, they sell covers. That's how they stay in business. They're not known these days for selling stories. Like the only book that I can tell you that comes out on shelf that's Dynamite that there's a story in right now is Kong the Great War that they're selling. Like then there's Kong the Great War. it comes out every week with 6-7 covers, or it comes out when every issue with 6 or 7 covers. Like I collect the cover C on that one, and they got Jay Lee doing the A covers. So that's all. Like they sell Vampirella, they sell Red Sonja, and they sell cosplay variants of them, and they sell 52 other variants. That they sell covers, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what's worked for them with what they got.
And they've gotten into the gargoyles and the ducktails and
Yep.
that stuff too.
And even more like Negaduck, and they had like the Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch just came out this past week too.
Yeah, I was talking about that too, how they've actually found a lot of success with the Disney stuff because they did Maleficent, right? And Scar.
Yep.
Both of those I've heard nothing but good things from.
Yeah.
I'm interested in checking
Disney
out
Villains title.
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious how that works. Like with the Marvel, Disney owns Marvel, but they're publishing books through Dynamite. Why is it what?
Yeah, it's especially they seem to farm out their kid stuff because even like their Star Wars Adventures is done by Dark Horse, I believe. So all of their kid stuff they kind of seem to farm out to other publishers. They don't seem to want to print their own.
Yeah, for context, with Transformer Ones, on what you're talking about, Tim, is how many direct market covers. You know that the covers that are printed by Dynamite themselves or printed by Image themselves, they go out to all comic shops. Like for Transformers, you had the Daniel Warren Johnson A cover, the Daniel Warren Johnson B cover, the Daniel Warren Johnson C cover, the Ryan Otley cover. You had the all the way up to the 1:100 ratio. You had the blank. Like they had plenty of direct market covers on there as well.
Did they go as hard with like Duke as well, or no?
I know you had a blank and a few variants. I don't know because I don't think they went as hard with Duke or Cobra Commander, but you definitely have like at least 4 or 5 to choose from outside of ratios.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the inside back cover of almost any Dynamite book, you can see at least probably 9 to 12 different covers of that particular issue that came out.
Yeah. So again, for the chat, we're about to give away a signed copy of Gary B. the Casual Comic Guy's brand new book that released yesterday. It's available on Amazon. If you're looking to purchase a copy, it's $2.99 for the digital device named Kindle. It's $6.99 for the physical paperback. The link to purchase it from Amazon is pinned to the top of the chat. And per Gary, he's going to be sending this out himself. He said this is open to U.S. and Canada. U.S. and Canada is what he said.
Which I'm thankful for that because most people in the United States can just buy it and go meet Gary. And it's a little harder for people in Canada to go meet Gary.
You got a canoe.
All
right, so let's bring this thing. Yeah. Ride your canoe on the bridge. The 37-mile-long bridge, you need half a tank of gas to even cross. Here we go. So we're going to spin this bad boy, and the winner of this is going to Sector
2815.
Nice.
Yeah.
Paul just won himself a signed copy.
Nice.
Very cool. Congrats, Paul. So this week on the YouTubes, there's no Guess That Key this week. This is an off week. It will return on
the 14th
with guests.
With guest Brian LCS, the man behind the CBC Awards, and assuming he's not snowed in, Mr. TM Nerdy.
Oh, Sir Timothy Nerdy will be there.
I'm going to bring a key that'll blow your guys' mind.
Yeah, it's the first appearance of Animal Man. We all know.
Very, very cool. And tomorrow night is Between the Line. There you go. Gary is aware of the winner. There we go.
Thanks. Special Between the Lines. You guys have a special guest tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, tomorrow night over my channel we'll have Tony Fleeks.
The Stray Dogs, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be joining us, and the theme is cats. So if you guys would like to draw from home, feel free to do so. And his book...
hold on. So you bring in the guy from Stray Dogs on to draw cats?
Well, he does have
that. That's a very promotional move.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He does have an upcoming book featuring cats, so I
Stray
might have
Cats, is that the name of it?
a. That's actually called
Feral.
Feral.
Okay.
Feral.
See, Stray
Yeah.
Cats was like a 1980s band, wasn't it?
And feral is a very accurate description of cats. I'm not even joking. I got to work today, and the property cat had a squirrel's tail and about that much of the squirrel's body attached to it, sitting next to the door where it was bringing gifts.
Then yeah. So
Hey,
tomorrow at 8.
yo, just here to plug my new show on Thursday, Nick's Cave of Popular Culture live stream. You need more words in that title, and no one will be there. No one will be there. There's 20 years of Transformers 1. Wow, not all of those are direct market. It can't be.
So yeah, tomorrow night, 8:35 p.m. Eastern over my channel. Come one, come all. Then Wednesday, I will have Tomorrow Tonight with TM Nerdy, 11 p.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. for me. Topics have not been chosen yet, but if you want to jump on, I know we had C Bizzle and Cliff on Comicx and Papa Wheelie are going to become regulars now on the show. But if you guys like to join in, just shoot me a message, and I'll have the topics up Tuesday night on IG and on my community page on YouTube. Then Thursday, I'm going to go live again at 10 p.m. No, 9 p.m. Eastern to go live. And I'm doing a purge of my comics. I'm just doing a hangout. Just come hang out. I'm getting rid of a lot of comics. I have like 2 short boxes. I'm gonna show them off. If anybody wants them, hit me up and just pay the shipping. If not, I'm bringing them all to a library and donating them to a library because they're probably not worth money to sell. And they're just comics I just don't want in my collection, and I want to purge some of my collection. So that's about it. I'm boring everybody by just rambling on.
About those comics that you don't want?
No, just about whatever random shit I'm doing this week.
No, it's kind of informative.
Yeah,
Because now I got questions. What are you getting rid of? Why are you just giving them away?
Mostly indie comics and that. I'll show them all off this Thursday.
To update this comic, there's 24 covers of Transformers 1 asterisk 56 is what I've already found. There's a list of 56 covers for Transformers 1 on Key Collector alone, and that's assuming they have all of them even listed. 56.
Wow.
Still going. I made it to the bottom. There's a lot. So how many did Thundercats have, Travis?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 regular covers.
How many total do they have? Well, League of Comic Geeks doesn't ever have all of the store exclusives when they
they just have they have them in tiers, like open order covers going all the way to E. Then they have the incentive covers, but if you add the incentive covers, it's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. There's 34 adding the incentive covers. If you add the retailer exclusives, there's 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
I've seen so many retailer exclusives. That's a wrap.
Oh man, yeah, there's so much. Like you add the open order covers and the incentive covers, that's how many retailer exclusives you get.
Paul said he counts 12 through Diamond that are not ratio covers. Yeah, needless to say, covers sell. So if it helps keep this hobby alive and going, do what you got to do. If it wasn't for them banking on cover selling, they might not have a Rob Liefeld cover, and I might not get this book at all. So it worked on me. And I'm not adding it to my pool. I'm just gambling on it being there when I get there to pick up my books. We'll see how it works out. It's not that important. But I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out tonight. Tomorrow, I have my Big Time Collectibles mystery box for January video posting. I've already opened it like 5 days ago now. It's been available to channel members since then. Everyone knows that those books that I get in there, I get the box for fun, support Big Time Collectibles, and I just post them up on Pop's Attic for sale for killer deal prices. If you follow Pop's Attic, you probably already seen them, as well as some of them have already sold and are out the door. So it pays to hit that link below and follow Pop's Attic. Also, Wednesday, I've got my next episode of the weekly vlog coming out. That's been a blast doing the comic book vlog. Fun stuff with doing comic stuff, going out and about doing movie review stuff with the wife and everything. There's just all kinds of fun stuff in there. It's just a mixed bag of awesomeness. I hit up the comic room and pull stuff that I'll be selling again over on Pop's Attic, so you kind of get some insight to what's coming that way as well. So definitely be sure to check it out if you haven't already. Links are in the description to all kinds of fantastic places like Pop's Attic, Big Time Collectibles, and ABX Comics and Games. That's my LCS here. It's also the long distance comic shop of some other content creators you know and love, like Collecting with Durs, Burke Family 54 Comics. They have a fantastic Facebook group. He does have an Instagram account, but he's active on Facebook, and that's linked in the description below as well. Boom. Appreciate that. Legion for
Thank
life,
you.
my man, Johnny. Thank you so much. Dude, Johnny,
Appreciate
check us
it.
out. I think you have made it over there on Wednesday once or twice before. Check us out on, it's only every other Wednesday over on Sector's channel. An amazing, fun, good time doing the Guess That Key game show. Chat participation, prizes. It's a whole thing. It's a blast. The premier comic book game show on YouTube this side of the Mississippi. And if you know about the world, you know that every side is this side of the Mississippi. So until next time, everybody, I hope you all have a fantastic week, and we'll catch you later.